Hello, Flosstube. Happy New Year. Welcome. My name is Julia. I go by Julicious here on Flosstube. My pronouns are they, them. I think that's the first time I've ever said that on a Flosstube video. I am non-binary, and that is a realization I came to in early to mid 2022. And the coming out process is daunting. Anyway, so I'm here today to do a WIP parade just of my cross-stitching WIPs. I don't know if you can hear, but I'm getting over a generic upper respiratory virus of some kind. It was one of those things where it's like, oh, it's not COVID, it's just something random. That's really quaint and kind of refreshing. So if you are new here, welcome. I have opinions, as Michelle Bendy would say. For example, like today is January the 4th, 2023, and Black Lives Still Matter. Tea, sorry, that's gonna be I have cats with me today because I told Jessie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff that I would have some kitties on camera today because her little girl, Baby Does Stuff, probably toddler does stuff by now, gets very excited when Flosstube kitties show up. And my Flosstube kitties are very camera shy. So we're gonna be employing bribery, but that's okay. So what was I gonna say? If you're new here, welcome. I hope I don't offend you too much. I had a little influx of new views. I think some folks from Europe, Jemima the Rocking Stitcher mentioned me in one of her videos, and Abby Bella Stitch, who is a few states north from me in Massachusetts, mentioned me in one of her recent videos. If you don't know me, I am a registered nurse and I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Lifelong Pennsylvania resident, been in Philly for about 10 years now. So, what else? I think that's it. On this channel, you're mostly going to see cross stitch and knitting with, I took the plunge and started quilting last year. Not much progress on that, which I'll probably talk about in another video. Apparently, I also needed, for my beginner placemats, I needed a walking foot. I didn't know what a walking foot was. So that's a mystery that's going to need to be solved pretty soon, because I'd like to make those placemats and maybe move on to something else. I ramble a lot, as you're probably guessing. So today, just my cross-stitch WIPs and my cross-stitching plans for the year. So I did have a New Year New Start, which I started with Christine of Calico Whimsy. But that's going to be my only start for this year. We're doing no new starts 2023 over here in Casa del Ju. And I'm hoping to get some things finished because I have some smaller things that could easily be finished and some medium-sized projects that I've been working on for quite a while that really just need to get done and up on a wall or into the drawer of shame. One of those. So why don't I introduce kitties first? Because I know toddlers have short attention spans. Kitties. Oh, I'm right here, dummy. Oh, come on up. Pippin, come on up. Oh, come here, you. Say hello. This is Pippin. Pippin has lived with us for almost 2 years now. Pippin is the kitty that we adopted to keep Elijah company about 2 months after we lost Alex and Andre. He's about 3 years old. He's your basic standard issue cat. Named Pippin because he is highly food motivated, very interested in second breakfast. Yeah, here you go. There you go. Nom, 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 nom. Elijah, if you want treats, you're gonna have to come over. Yeah, that's enough for you. Elijah. Elijah, come here, baby boy. Oh, baby. It's okay. It's okay. So look, say hello. This is Elijah. Elijah is a textbook pandemic cat. He is terrified of everything that is not myself, my partner, or our daughter. You're caught, you're caught, you're caught. And he's my baby. My daughter refers to him as my favorite child. We found him outside in August of 2022. And if you follow me on Instagram, if you go to my highlight reels and click on Happiness Fix, you'll be able to see what he looked like when he was itsy bitsy. They are both very lovey cats, but camera shy. And Elijah is a bit of a scaredy cat, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. So I hope you enjoyed that little girl. I'm not gonna say her name because I don't think her mom has shared that widely. So anyway, those are my cats. So let's see, it's been almost 8 minutes. Would you like to see some cross stitch? Let's go through my WIPs in no particular order. On the top, on this file here, I have Dracula's Confession by Lindy Stitches. I'm stitching the portrait mode one. I'm stitching this on 32 count cauldron by Picture This. Did you seriously just knock that pile of WIPs over? It's not treats time anymore. Cauldron, 32 count by Picture This Plus. I feel like I've made a couple of mistakes with this one and I'm not entirely sure where. So I am using some of the called for threads, some threads just from my stash. The silk on the bat is called for, rum raisin in the words is called for. I think I'm just pulling random stash for the leaves. I think the stems of the leaves, I'm doing Hickory Sticks by Gast. Or is it Classic Colorworks? I'm bad at telling the two apart. Not on my list of things to finish this year, but if it would be nice if I did, but I'm not gonna stress about it. I think Lindy Stitches makes up, excuse me, most of my WIPs right now, like the designer that I have the most stuff of. And I love, don't get me wrong, I love Stephanie as a person and I love most of her designs. Even though generally I tell myself that I don't like cute things, except when I do. Just putting things away. I'm sorry, I have to do this as I go, or it's not gonna get done. So that's WIP number 1. WIP number 2. Oh, I love this one. This is a free pattern from Brittany of Ingleside Imaginarium. She designed this a couple of years ago. I want to say probably in 2021 or I don't remember. When did Stitch Asia start? That's Abby Bella Stitch's brainchild. And where every April we stitch on something designed by an Asian designer or that's got an Asian aesthetic. You could do, for example, Modern Folk Embroideries Katakana sampler, or if you have cross stitch of a geisha or a lucky cat chart, or just anything. Abby had a whole video a couple years ago just throwing out ideas for Stitch Asia. Anyway, Brittany, who is incredibly talented and incredibly generous, designed this chart for free. It's amazingly detailed. It's called the Phaya Naga. It's inspired by Tibetan art. Using all DMC. I'm stitching this on 32 count Tempest, and I want to say I'm about half done. This is definitely coming out. I mean, look at that. That's a freebie from Ingleside Imaginarium, guys. I love the face. So a Naga is a water dragon. So yeah, I'm hoping to get a good chunk of that done in April. I have a applique wall hanging that a friend of mine in the UK made, that I bought from her. It's actually the same person who did my meditating badger tattoo. It's a Tibetan mudra, the mudra for giving refuge. So it's a hand like this, and in between the thumb and the ring finger is a lotus flower on a stem. I know lotus flowers don't really have a stem, but it's art. And the mudra, it's a mudra for giving refuge. So it's hanging in my bedroom. And I think that if I'd finish this in such a way that I could put it in my bedroom, so I could have two like Tibetan-y things, that would be cool. So that's 2. I'm going to try to keep count. Good luck. And I'm trying to go fast, and it's not going fast. This one. Mirabilia Halloween Fairy. This is a kit. It's available on 123 Stitch still, I think. I call this the Emily Fairy because I first became aware of it when Emily C. of Eclectic Possessions stitched it. And because of that, I had to stitch it on one of Emily's favorite fabrics, which is Murky by Picture This Plus. I think if I concentrated really, really hard, I could finish this year, but I'm not this is a no pressure year for Julia. Like my intention for the year is take better care of yourself. And that means not stressing about your hobbies. That means more bubble baths. That means more yoga. That means healthy boundaries. So anyway, I'm gonna put something behind this because it needs this. But yeah, so here's where I am. I'm using all the called for threads which were in the kit. I probably would have chosen a different a different floss for the skin, because it looks like she has horrible modeling because she's dying, but that's okay. And I'm stitching the skin 1/1 because I'm like that. So I like to do the beads last. She's got a lot of beads. They're all the same. They're all the same bead, but she's got quite a few of them. Yeah, she's fun. And I love her on this fabric. So that's Halloween Fairy, AKA Emily Fairy. And my nose has not been running for the past 4 days. And what's it doing now? Yep. Oh, this one was a new start this year that I started just because I wanted to. I was enabled by Abby Bella Stitch. This is Pumpkins 3 by Lottie Da. And I am stitching this on 36 count Spicy Carrot by XJU Designs. I love their fabric. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that color. Like, I'm gonna be able to stitch a few things on this. But the floss I'm using is Bat Orchid. It's a Stitchy Box flower silk. And that's what I have so far. Very fun. I'll probably make that a pillow. If you have never stitched on an XJU Designs fabric before, I highly recommend it. I know it's kind of pricey to purchase things from overseas. She's based in Hungary. Hi, sweet boy. Come up. Come on. But if you get an Etsy gift card or something, I would highly recommend it. She does linen, even weave, and Aida. Her customer service is wonderful. Her fabrics are a joy to work on. A++, in my opinion. What's next? This is gonna get finished this year. If it kills me. Hi, you're looking for treats. You're not looking for love, you're looking for treats. I got a cat here, and I got a cat, like cat there, cat here, and then like there were treats. Anyway, this is finally gonna get finished. This is from the Cricut collection. I love the Cricut collection. This is the Voyage Home. A Flosstuber, probably about 5 years ago, enabled me. I forget. Is it the Queen of Quite a Lot? I don't know if she's making videos anymore. It's the Voyage Home with a quote from Herman Melville, "All voyages are homeward bound." And I am stitching this on 32 count Once in a Blue Moon linen from Fiberlicious. And what else? All the called for, it's all DMC and 1 week's dye works. So I made a modification. I changed the striping on the lighthouse to, excuse me, it's also not a delicious video without a burp. To be the color scheme of my personal favorite lighthouse, which is the lighthouse I have right here. This is Barnegat Lighthouse from Long Beach Island in New Jersey, which is where we vacationed often in my childhood. This is where I am right now. I'll just give you a close-up. This sky was no joke. Oh my gosh. The sky took forever. Forever. So I'm on the bottom third. So yeah, finish this house, this tree, 2 more houses and a tree. And then we're calling it good. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this for myself or maybe give it to a close family member, like maybe my sister or my dad. But I have time. I have time to figure that out. I don't remember what number we're on. Oops. Ouch. No. No. Okay. Threadwork primitives. I started this, I think, in 2021. And I got the teeniest, tiniest start on it. Someone enabled me, but I just love this. Beggar's Night. And it's all DMC. I have decided, while I'm still relatively young and fresh, to stitch this on 56 count, 1/2. And I had the tiniest start, and then this October I pulled it out and just spent some days under my magnifier stitching in hand. It's on a huge piece of fabric, and it's not going to be huge, but I got a lot more accomplished. I love how teeny tiny it is. I think the last time you saw it, I just had like these tiny little boxes in the corner. So that's a decent amount of progress. $56 count. I don't have the tag for the fabric. It's a 56 count neutral brown, beige, something. Okay. Here we have, this was my New Year, New Start last year that got a ridiculously small start for whatever reason, probably because I was depressed. This time last year I was working night shift and it was killing me. I'm not anymore and am much happier. Enabled by quite a few people. The Village of Hawk Run Hollow. Now, I was inspired by the lovely Ann P. of Fiber, Floss, and Fiction to do some modifications to this chart, which I'm going to. She made modifications to reflect her family and her ancestry in central Pennsylvania, about 10 miles from where I grew up. That's how Anna and I kind of connected, because I know exactly where you're talking about. So she changed the church to be her grandma's church and the boarding house to be like her grandma's boarding house. And I think one of the stables is her uncle, great uncle. I am going to modify this to be places from my hometown. I grew up in State College, Pennsylvania. I am a Penn State University faculty brat. So the first major change I'm going to be making to this is that the church is going to become a synagogue. It's going to become Congregation Brit Shalom. And if I can figure out how to make the name fit, I will put my my favorite rabbi's name. I'm going to change Hawk Run Hollow City Hall to be SCLO Library, which is the public library in State College. It's brick, mostly because that's what I think of what I could get to fit in the sign. State College Borough building is not, kind of wordy. The boarding house is going to be a local business. The stable, I'm still working on that. I have to ask my sister's a horse girl. I'll ask her which stable. The mill's going to become a granary. The farm's going to become Harner Farm, which is where we got most of our produce growing up. So minimal changes, but meaningful ones. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. I'm stitching this on, I hear Josh coming up the stairs. I am stitching this on 25 count Lugana from Under the Sea Fabrics in the colorway Tiramisu. It's a huge piece of fabric, and it's only got an itsy bitsy bit done. But that's all right. I'm stitching it 1/1 on 25 count. And I'm using the DMC. So apparently I don't hear Josh coming up the stairs. I hear Josh whistling, and it sounds like he might be coming up the stairs, but he probably won't. Yeah, that's long term. Long term, long term. What I like about, I don't know if you heard, he has a very boisterous laugh. I don't know if you heard that. What I like about the Hawk Run Hollow patterns is that each block, I'm filming a Flosstube video, each block has its own full page. So you're not squinting. I like that. Oh, what's next on the pile? How about my birthday start from this past year? My 40th birthday start. My First Dimensions gold kit. Maggie the Messmaker. Holy crap, no one told me. No one told me how intense these are. I got some done. Not very much. I'm stitching this on the kit Ada. Yeah, Pippin. So I'm working on this page. Nothing too crazy right now. Sloth in a teacup needle minder. I don't remember where I got that from. If it looks familiar, let me know. This is going to be a process, and that's okay. And it's fun. Something that I did not realize, because you see Maggie's covered in yarn and string. That's all cording that you make out of the floss, and then you couch it. I've never done couching. We're going to learn. It's going to be great. I think I'm going to stitch this just as is, but I'm probably going to change the little American flag to the trans flag because I can. All right, we're going to put that there because I've been using the package that it's in to sort of be the board that holds things up. Over here, in a Hillside Rookery bag made by Olivia B. I love it so. There are a couple of projects in here. There are. Okay, so the first one we have is Basket of Cherries from the Garden Club series. And I'm kind of picking colors as I go because I have a not insignificant color and cotton stash. This is on something, 36 count something. It's a Picture This Plus. sand dune maybe. I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, this is what I have done. Trying to figure out a good blue to go inside the bird. That, you know what, I could probably finish that one this year if I just put my mind to it and did it. If I chose colors and was like, okay, that's it, that's what we're doing, and just did it. Not always that way. I have all of the Garden Club series that I'm going to stitch on individual pieces of fabric, and then I'm going to create a wall hanging quilt. When will that happen? Before I die. That's when that will happen. This one, the belle of my stash, my current favorite WIP. I love it so much. I started this on June 1st because I started a lot of things my birthday month, is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I love it so much. It is so much fun. I'm stitching this on 40 count linen from Color and Cotton. Hi. You want to come say hi? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I promise. No, not okay. All right. From Color and Cotton, white tee. And I'm using a silk floss pack. Nikki Clayton of HDF makes up floss packs, and she's got floss packs for a whole array of patterns. This is the first time I've ever used her silk, and I love it. Believe the hype. Believe the hype. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm working top down, and I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between the border and the middle section. And that's working really well for me. I know borders can be really intimidating, and frankly, I was really intimidated by this border, but honestly, it's not that bad. Once you get in the groove, it's kind of meditative. And I just alternate to keep things interesting. So, yeah, this one is my current darling. Well, one of my current darlings. The pattern, the kit that Christine and I started together on New Year's Day is my current, like, #1 darling, but close behind. All right, and then in a Momily bag, I got lucky, snagged a Momily bag some years ago, 2 years ago. How many patterns are in here? 2. Okay, the first one will get finished this year if it kills me. This is Starry Night Sampler by the City Stitcher that I have modified to be a tribute to Carl Sagan. I'm stitching this on 36 count Nightshade from Color and Cotton. So I put a quote at the top. This was inspired by Olivia B., who she was working on this around the time that Tom Petty died, and so she changed the alphabet to a song lyric, and then put the Tom Petty's birth and death date on the top, and changed the name to Tom Petty. And I was like, I want to do that. I could do that for Carl Sagan. So my quote is, I don't want to believe, I want to know. 1934 to 96. I'm gonna have Carl Sagan in here. And this is where I am so far. I'm kind of playing fast and loose with colors. I swapped out quite a few of the, it's all charted in all DMC. I swapped out quite a few for color and cotton because I wanted to. So yeah, this I would like to finish this year. And I might put it there or there. And then the second project I have in my Monolith bag, totally enabled by Sarah the Stitchin' Mommy, and you'll have to look it up. This is Quick Stitch Iris from Heaven and Earth Designs. And I can't tell if this is 28 count or 25 count, easy count. But I've been wanting to stitch it because I have a friend who loves irises. So that's where that is. Maybe I'll work on this in February a little bit for full coverage. Hi, buddy. Oh, drive by Pippin. I don't think you saw him. But yeah, still working on page 1. I do not have Pattern Keeper because up until about a year ago, I was a Mac head, and then Apple started being really just extra shitty in terms of capitalism, and so I determined that I'm going to phase out my Apple products. But I'm a desktop user, and I have an iPad that I'm going to use till it dies. I don't really have anything that I could put Pattern Keeper on, although I think it would be a wonderful investment for the for my fuller coverage designs, like even something like this. So the point I'm trying laboriously to get to is I don't remember. Oh yeah, full coverage in me is slow going because I'm still like paper and highlighting it. Paper and highlighter, that's me. It's really not conducive to full coverage stitching in my opinion. What do we got next? I hope someone's counting. I'm not counting. This I started 2 years ago, and I didn't bring the floss with me. It's a variegated DMC. I'm sorry. This is the Baba Yaga sampler by the Thread Sewer on Etsy, and I am just about not quite halfway done with it. I'm stitching this 1/1 on 28 count Jobelin. And I think I've done all the alphabet. I just need to do some numbers. And then the border is no joke. But again, alternate. This will get done when it gets done. And I'm rolling it up. What comes next? What comes next? Do, do, do. What does come next? Let's look at these over here. Other things that I plan to finish. This is the limited edition kit, The Shiny Things Needle Book from Lindy Stitches. I don't know if I'm going to fully finish this year, but I'm definitely going to finish all the stitching. That's where my spool of Anchor Black went. Wonderful. This is on 32 count Lugana that came with the kit. And It's a scooch over half done. I love them. I love ravens. I love quirky. I think this is gonna be adorable. The back's gonna look like that. My Nana had that sewing machine. And she sewed on it. Like, I don't think she replaced this sewing machine. It was like one of these old school Singers. She didn't replace that until I think 1989. Something like that, so. That was very much, seeing that was very fuzzy and nostalgic for me. Shiny things. And then, because I wanted this to go with my Strutting Tom. The limited edition kit Loose Rooster. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna make this, like the drum, nor how I'm gonna display it, because it looks like it's something, it doesn't look like it will stand up on its own very easily. But I'm gonna try. Again, probably not gonna fully finish this year, but definitely plan to finish the cross stitching this year. Which way is up? This way is up. Okay. I'm so sorry. 42 minutes. I was hoping to keep this under an hour. I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay. You know, it might happen. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? We might be able to keep it under an hour. Okay. I love this one, and I need to figure out what to do because I ran out. It's a kit, and I ran out of some of the floss. This is an Old Dimensions kit, totally enabled by Michelle Bendy. Going to market. I love it. This is on 14 count Aida. It's blue. This half stitch background, and I think part of the problem is that I stitch half stitch Continental 10th stitch because it makes sense to my brain and it doesn't cause the fabric to warp as much. But yeah, I run out of some of the floss. So I'm gonna have to figure out. I don't think I've run out. I think I'm close to running out. I'm definitely not gonna have enough. So that's fun. If anyone knows of a DMC conversion, or even like a chart of DMC conversions for Dimensions kit floss, holler at your nurse. Wow, that sounded really terrible. Let me know. Slide into my DMs and let me know. This is fun. I want to get back to this year. Maybe I can finish the pile of fabric that she's carrying. That could be fun. So like my intention was to work completely top down because in things with lots of back stitching, I like to back stitch as I go. I find that it causes me less stress. And things with lots of back stitching, I mean, they're designed, they look better, and it's really nice to see like what it's meant to look like sooner rather than later. So we shall see. We shall see. Where did I find this chart? Because I guarantee you this kit is out of print. I think I found this on eBay, and I was really lucky. There's a companion piece to this in yellows that I have not been able to find. And that's okay. C'est la vie. Last year, I participated in the Bird Crush Club. And I fell way behind because life's just like that sometimes. I don't think I'm gonna finish the Bird Crush Club this year. Oh crap. It's on my year of WIPs because I'm doing year of WIPs. This is on my year of WIPs. So ha 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 ha, we'll see. I only have 3 done, not even 3. 2 done completely. I'm stitching this all on one piece of fabric, and it is lamb's wool, 40 count lamb's wool by XJU Designs. I thought they would all look nice on one piece of fabric. I chose fabric that was way too light, but I'm not stopping. I'll just maybe do some gentle back stitching on birds that are a little lighter, and we'll just figure it out. Gentle back stitching, subtle back stitching. So I've got the Stellar's J done. I'm mostly done, half done with the black-bellied whistling ducks. The broad-billed hummingbird is adorable and is completely done. And I don't know what those other 2 are. But I think this is definitely enough fabric. 4 rows of 3, that's gonna work. Apparently, when New Year's Day Julia was making their list of things to do for the Year of WIPs challenge that starts on January 19th, go see Melanie Watkins of the Soulful Stitcher. Go see her video if you want info. Yeah, New Year's Day, Julia thought they could totally finish this year. New Year's, yeah, past Julia is not always realistic. Pro tip. Okay, second to last one, guys. This is my New Year, New Start. And I got a new bag. My sister got me this bag from Urban Native Era. It's got a hummingbird on this side and the truth on the other. And it's perfect for this. It fits an 11 by 11 Q-snap perfectly. So, what did Christine and I start on New Year's Day? We started this RTO kit of this glorious little seagull looking at their reflection in a window. This makes me so happy. This is a joy to stitch on it. I've never stitched an RTO kit before. The pattern itself is nice and big, so you're not squinting. It comes with DMC floss. The floss is nice to use. The Ada's okay. I want to say that's a 16 count Ada. I don't love Ada, but I like this. I just look at him, them, whatever. In the world of my imagination, this gull lives in Newfoundland and lives in the world of Annie Proulx's novel, The Shipping News, and this gull is peering in the window of the newspaper office. That is my story about this little gull. I don't know why, but in my world, that's what it is. And I'm really enjoying this. You know, I do not always stitch this palette with blues, even though I think I like blue just fine, obviously. And I think that's why this is also tickling my fancy, is because I'm using colors I do not normally use. So what I have chosen to do is I started in the middle and I'm going to stitch the gull, and then I'm going to kind of probably follow up here go up here, and then work top down the rest of the way. And I'm hoping to finish this year. I'm gonna stitch on this until it's either done or I get sick of it. Needle minder of the first Christopher Eccleston's doctor. I've had that for probably 8 years. I don't know where I got it. Lots of blended threads, but I like it. So that's where I am. And it's also been really fun to chit chat with Christine every day on Instagram Messenger. Oh crap, you didn't need to see. As I just show you you know what, we're just gonna, you didn't see anything? Everything is fine, nothing is ruined. Okay, we're just gonna put this back in the bag. And then I can show you my last WIP, which is kind of stalled, and that's okay. Because it's only stitching. It's gonna work out. This is my big Mamba Jamba. My labor of love for my beloved partner, Josh. This is my Gecko Rouge kit of the Gamer, artwork by an artist who goes by Medusa Dollmaker. I think I've had this 5 years now. Woefully, woefully, woefully behind. I haven't even finished the top row. 1/1 on 25 count Lugana. And we're stalled. Because I made mistakes and I can't figure out how to fix them because it's full coverage. There's a snafu in here somewhere, and somewhere in her face, and like this little bit. I have no idea what to do. And I don't know if you can fudge full coverage. And I can't restart it because it's a paper chart, and when I'm done with a page, I'm just like, ha, see ya, sucker, and throw it in the recycling, because I'm not very good at thinking about the future. It's going to be okay. I do want to work on this. I'd like to finish the top border, the top row. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. I would like to. I don't have that much more to go. We'll see. Any advice, thoughts, commiseration, please let me know. That's it. How many was that? I mean, less than some. So, I'm going to be doing Year of WIPs, which is you pick at least 6 WIPs, and the goal is to finish at least half of them. I have chosen 6, and I would like to finish half of them. I think it's doable. The WIPs I have chosen are the Bird Crush Club, the Seagull that I just showed you, my Carl Sagan piece, Shiny Things, Loose Rooster, and The Voyage Home. I think getting at least 3 of those done is absolutely doable. And anything else is just gravy. And that's, yeah. So that is the current state of the cross-stitch WIPs in my world. Pippin, do you want to come say hello? Or you want to say goodbye? He's like, I don't know. Come on. So I've been really enjoying seeing everyone else's WIP Parade and plans. I'm going to try to do a once-a-month thing with a few extras thrown in. I know there was some interest, pardon the siren, it's Philly. There was some interest in going through my pattern stash and having me kind of do a stitch it or ditch it purge, which I am planning to do. I might do that with my daughter because she likes that kind of thing. What else? I'm currently knitting a pair of socks and I'm finishing a cowl. I have plans to start a sweater for myself. I don't have the yarn or the pattern yet, but I have a plan. I want to work on the quilting. You want down? Okay. And you just want to sit? So it'll be an adventure. I hope you are all safe. I hope you're all healthy. And I hope you're kind to other people and kind to yourselves. And I will catch you around the internet, folks. Take care.